Namaste. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shail Gulhati, Shiva and Mysticism for another episode of Monday with Mahadev. Today, I'm going to talk to you about two kinds of knowledge, two kinds of gyan which we have in Hinduism, and the differentiation between these two is very vital to be understood. And I often talk about these two gyans to my sessionists who are learning the Siva Sutras from me as a primer. Now, the two gyans which we have are Bodh Gyan and Porish Gyan. Bodh Gyan is basically the theory of something, a shastra, a sacred text, a understanding of a rishi who has had divine darshan put down on a piece of paper for record. So a Bodh Gyan is somewhat like a map. It is the map given by somebody who has been to a trek himself and now wants to share the method with you. So Bodh Gyan is a map, it's a theory, it's a manual, or as we say these days, it is an SOP, a standard operating procedure. So in order to understand our sacred spirituality, we need to both Bodh Gyans. The Bhagavad Gita is a Bodh Gyan, the Ramayana is a Bodh Gyan, Mahabharata is a Bodh Gyan, the Yog Vashisht is a Bodh Gyan, Ashtavakra Gita is a Bodh Gyan, and so on. Even in other cultures and other religions, the sacred texts are what we call Bodh Gyan. These are the maps on how to get in touch with your own divinity. On the other hand, we have Porish Gyan. Porish means pertaining to Purusha. Usually Purusha means a male, but here it is a wider term which means pertaining to the person. Porish Gyan is the experience that we have of spirituality. Typically, Bodh Gyan is something which we read or which we remember. It is typically somebody else's map. And Porish Gyan is the one which we experience for ourselves. If we have only Bodh Gyan and no Porish Gyan, then we are in a situation where we are like a parrot who may know a mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, but has no experience of that mantra. And if we have Porish Gyan but no Bodh Gyan, we are typically in a situation where we say, I hear voices in my head, or when I close my eyes, I see lights, and before I'm going to sleep, maybe I feel that my body is drifting away. Am I doing astral travel? And so on. Certain mystical experiences which we cannot explain. And if such a person who's having these experiences is honest and is talking to a peer, usually they will ask, what is happening to me? So Porish Gyan without Bodh Gyan has its own problem. Just Bodh Gyan and no Porish Gyan gets us nowhere. In order to reach our divinity, we need both Bodh Gyan and Porish Gyan, so that the two wings of spirituality take us to that divine flight. Now, Shiva also has a Bodh Gyan. We all know about the Shiv Puran, which is stories of Lord Shiva. We know about Krishna, and his Bodh Gyan is of course the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, Shivji's Bodh Gyan is the Siva Sutras, which were revealed to Vasu in Kashmir about 1300 years ago. And this is a very interesting story by itself. Shiva comes again and again to teach his Bodh Gyan after a time lapse of about 1,000 years. Before Vasu, he had taught it to the great rishi Durvasa. So Shivji gives his Bodh Gyan so that we may understand our Porish Gyan when we have it. And the Siva Sutras are one Bodh Gyan which have a magical quality about them. They are the one Bodh Gyan which, when we read, it may automatically start transforming into Porish Gyan. Just like the caterpillar who becomes a butterfly on transformation. And Shiva Sutras is that safe cocoon in which we learn about our divinity. The Shiva Sutras are the Bodh Gyan about the God and man mapping. So, in order to reach our spirituality, we need both the Gyans. And it is said, God in His wisdom at one time gives us only one Gyan. He doesn't give us both together. Therefore, if we have to ask God to give us some Gyan, it has to be Porish Gyan, the experience, because having, let us say, a manual for a beautiful car, a Ferrari, but not having the Ferrari itself is not of much use. But having a Ferrari and not knowing how to use it, there is a chance that a great guru will come your way and give you his manual on how to drive that Ferrari car. So Porish Gyan is the more important out of the two Gyans. But there is hope. Like I said, the Shiva Sutras themselves are a Bodh Gyan which can transform into a Porish Gyan. They are a sacred text which can lead to a great spiritual experience. I hope you liked this video. Join me again next Monday and I will be back with yet another Shiva wisdom for you. Om Namah Shivaya.